Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I didn't want to interrupt your filming, so I didn't do what I've just ended up doing.
Do you want to sit on the park bench and talk crap for a while?
Yes.
All right.
Unintentional. Wait, let me turn my airplane mode on.
Oh, mine's not on.
Oh my god.
Before we all sit on this bench,
I don't think we are going to.
it's a very small bench and it's quite wobbly.
Sammy Paul, everyone.
Oh,
Do you
hello.
want to,
Sorry. Hello. Sorry, I didn't.
I think we can do this. I think if you don't mind cozying up a bit.
Well.
I'm genuinely worried he's going to clap. That's my wallet. That's the wallet you're sitting on.
I'm not putting any weight.
We can do this. We can do
Okay.
this. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we all having a good time?
I mean, we're having a time, certainly.
Wait, maybe I could. No, that's worse. I'll scooch forward. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Your ass forward, our ass is back.
Is this really how much prep you guys put into each episode?
Which is a good subject, because you have just released a load of stuff. You've just released a couple of projects, I remember. You've directed things.
You have to understand, I was sat on my phone moments ago enjoying a hot chocolate, and I'm just being interviewed suddenly. Yes, I have.
Welcome to Cramped Directing with Sammy Paul. This is happening.
My process is I like to be cramped. I feel ideas come out best when you're uncomfortable and cramped.
Well, people say artists like to constrain what they've got to
Just
work
being
with.
on this bench alone is making me come up with a screenplay.
Well, hang
idea.
on, didn't you film with Super 8 recently?
We did, yeah.
Yes, which I actually genuinely wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
Oh god, I'm now scared that I'm going to get technical questions wrong.
Oh,
but no, do it.
Okay, so you filmed a music video for Dodie using Super 8 film.
Yes.
And I remember you talking a bit about why you chose that, and we can link to that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about where do you find Super 8 film?
Okay, yeah, this was interesting. So I was working with Bertie Gilbert on it, and I'd said to him that I either wanted it to be sort of black and white or I wanted it to be Super 8. And he lent a lot more towards Super 8. And he was very determined that it would be very easy to find. So we just turned up to a few different shops in London, and they were all like, no, we haven't done that in years.
Why would we have that?
Why would we have this redundant medium? So we actually we asked some other friends of ours who are massive hipsters where they use their Super 8 from, and there was like a website where there's like one lady in Slough just
happened to buy
owns
too
a
much.
house of it, yeah. And we wanted like 20 minutes worth of Super 8 footage, which is like, I don't know if she'd ever had an order that big in recent times. So
Is it still being manufactured?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's there must be. I think in LA there is a very niche particular studio that does it, because they did some of the Super 8 for 500 Days of Summer and for literally the film Super 8. But I think they're pretty niche, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, you could probably get it made, but I don't think it's in regular production.
So how much testing did you do? Because you can't have used it before.
Bertie he'd done one little home video thing on Super 8. But it's like, honestly, you point the camera and you just hit go. There's no way of reviewing it. There's no way of checking it. There's like an awkward little zoom that you can do that's kind of really goofy. But other than that, it's pretty much you just point and go, and then you wait until it gets developed and just hope that you're in focus.
And get it scanned. I assume you edited it in digital.
Yes, we did. Yeah. We weren't sat there with our scissors. As fun as that would have been. Yeah. I think my favourite thing about it, this is quite nerdy, so I'm pretty sure the Super 8, the one we used was, I think, 17 frames a second, which is like a really peculiar frame rate. What's really funny is we also did a different video where there was slow-mo on a Phantom camera, where I believe it's almost like upward of like 2,000 frames a second. So I like that two different music videos from Dodie range from 17 to over 2,000
So that means
frames.
the next one's going to be a GIF.
Yeah, essentially. I'm going to push that to its logical extreme. And then it'll just be an image. Just a lone image that just tells the story.
Flipbook.
Oh my god!
A music clip book.
See, being cramped. What did I say?
There is a musician and director, I think, Rob Cantor, who did a music video for All I Need Is You, which is just a series of GIFs.
Oh wow!
So it's all repeating and looping, it all matches up. But it's not
amazing.
until afterwards, when I see all the credits, is that he has made all these himself.
Oh my goodness!
The implication, as you look at it, is that it's all a series of GIFs he's found off the internet.
Right.
And then at the end, it's like, no, you made all these.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Every single shot in here is either from archive footage you digitized, or it's no, you just got someone to make this and make it look like the 90s.
Oh my god, that is cool.
I've made GIFs from scratch before. It takes longer than making the equivalent video, and you end up with something considerably worse and considerably bigger in file size.
Yeah, I think that's the next venture then. GIF music videos. That's
I want to ask a technical thing about filming.
yes. Okay.
Because
I'll do
obviously,
my best.
when we set this up, we've got a viewfinder. We know roughly what it's going to look like. It sets ISOs and exposures and everything like that. How do you expose something like that? Because I'm so used to everything being pretty much done for me.
Right.
How do you know how long your shutter speed has to be?
On Super 8 specifically?
On whatever.
Yeah. Well, with Super 8, I think part of the charm of it is you just don't. And I think like the character of it, to some extent, is that you are just really hoping for the best. I think there is a tiny little thing where essentially it's almost sold as like daytime mode and nighttime mode, which I think is essentially just changing the iOS. I don't know by how much by. But otherwise, normally, my DP is just very good and knows a lot of the science behind it. So more often than not, I'm sort of telling him sort of what I'm imagining story-wise, or where the character is, or how these characters' relationship functions, and then it's more often than not he'll then pitch back to me a very like scientific version of how you achieve that. So whether it's the lens choice or whether it's the depth of focus or whatever it is, and then he puts it on the monitor and I go, that looks nice. I'm probably slightly underselling myself, but I do think that like more of the science is in his hands than mine. But
Were you doing it all in analog, or did you do some digital at the same time just as a backup?
So we did. We shot on I think not the FS7, the the A7S.
Yeah.
And we shot the whole thing. So every rehearsal we did was on the A7S.
Yeah.
And then every actual take we went for was on the Super 8. And I'm very happy to say that there is no A7S footage in there.
Yeah.
It is all actual Super 8. Even though on one of the days, what we didn't realize, we thought it would be really evident when you've run out of film. We thought it would just stop working, and we got to the end of the first day and we were like, man, this reel's lasted the whole day.
No.
And then we were like, wait. And so we did have to reshoot one of the sequences, I think 3 times in total, and there is one shot that was shot day for night, so it was the middle of the day, but we just graded it to look like nighttime. But other than that, I think that's the only bit of cheating we did. There is one shot that's just like massively, horribly out of focus, but again, it's just like, well, that's what you get when you literally can't see what you're doing.
It's like an Instagram filter, but without having to try.
I'm out. That's my least favorite. It's like Instagram. Yeah.
No, it's not though, because you're doing it proproperly. That's the thing.
You can tell the difference as well,
I know,
like in a big way. Like,
and that's why I mentioned that, because I'm sure you'd have got a load of that in the comments.
People were like, I think people don't know enough about like the technicalities of it necessarily, or like the average person.
Yeah.
To know exactly what it was. So there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I love the style of this, or like I love the kind of feel of this, which is great, like that's exactly it. But I think they didn't necessarily realize why that style's quite a big umbrella term, if you see what I mean. I think they couldn't necessarily pick it apart. But yeah, I think when you watch it, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And it's the only time I've shot on film, I think, ever.
Because why?
Because why? It looks bloody beautiful. I'd love to. It's a money thing more than anything.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive, and it means that every dud take is like, well, that's more into the budget.
I've realised that going into budget specifics may not be, but roughly, how much does Super 8 cost?
More than you'd think. I I think very roughly we got like 20 minutes worth of Super 8, which is quite a lot, I suppose. And I think your camera's flashing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. I think that to get that scanned and bought was about £1,500-ish.
Does that include scanning?
That includes scanning.
And developing. And
that is a really ballpark figure. Like,
Yeah.
I can't remember if
Oh,
it was
yeah.
exactly that, but for 20 minutes worth, that's about what you're looking at, which is pretty...
So if you haven't already, go watch the video. It is
Please.
below.
Tell us it was worth it.
Our camera's doing something we don't understand, so
Yeah.
we're going to wrap this up now.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's been an unexpected pleasure, I guess.
Have you ever been interviewed before by two people that are sat behind you?
No, and I've never been surprise interviewed. I've never walked over to someone to say hello and ended up
On a bench that is slightly wobbling every time someone moves.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
the eye lines on this. I'm
Yeah.
basically staring closely at your ear.
and I feel really rude because I'm
Yeah.
having to
And every time you turn to me, the mic's over there, so we'll see how that
Yeah.
works. Also, when you got up, for
Yeah.
a moment I was genuinely thinking that you were getting up, so I think my face will just be like, what? Are we offended?
It also feels like one of you is the devil and one of you is the angel on my shoulder. Like that's I feel like one of you is going to tell me to kill someone. That's what. There we go. We went to.
You're good. You're good.
Okay,
Simon.
good.
Thanks.
Well, thanks. Thank you.
Park bench, come here for quality.
I'm going to go back to editing. It's been a pleasure. I've got my stuff.
Bye, sir.
That was nice. That was fun. Good.
Sorry. Thank
Are
you.
you racking up a load of these? Or?
Yeah.
We sat here for an hour and couldn't come up with any ideas.
And then you wandered over and I realised the camera was rolling, so...
I won't be in any way hurt if none of that is possible.
Oh, it totally was. All of that was usable. Thank you.